Box jellyfish. The box jellyfish is a highly toxic, cube-shaped marine cnidarian that patrols the warm coastal waters of the Indo-Pacific. It evolved millions of years ago to become an apex invertebrate predator, relying on an incredibly sophisticated biological arsenal. From each corner of its translucent bell hang up to 15 tentacles that can stretch 10 feet long. These trailing ribbons are densely packed with millions of microscopic darts called nematocysts, which instantly inject a deadly venom upon the slightest contact. When a human brushes against a box jellyfish, the venom simultaneously attacks the heart, nervous system, and skin cells. The resulting pain is so excruciating that victims often go into shock and drown before they can even reach the shore. Unlike its aimlessly drifting cousins, this creature is an active hunter equipped with 24 eyes that allow it to precisely track small fish and navigate murky mangrove swamps. A single adult carries enough venom to kill more than 60 human beings in under 3 minutes. Blue-ringed octopus. During a 1954 expedition in Australia, a tragic fatality introduced the wider medical world to the devastating power of the blue-ringed octopus. Native to the shallow tide pools and coral reefs of the Pacific and Indian Oceans, this golf ball-sized predator normally spends its time peacefully camouflaged against rocks. However, when provoked, it undergoes a spectacular and terrifying transformation. The animal flashes up to 60 iridescent blue rings across its yellowish skin, serving as a blindingly bright warning to back off. If the threat ignores this visual alarm, the octopus strikes with a deceptively painless bite. Instead of relying on brute strength, it delivers a massive dose of tetrodotoxin, a potent neurotoxin produced by symbiotic bacteria living inside its salivary glands. This chemical payload aggressively blocks nerve signals, plunging the victim into rapid motor paralysis and complete respiratory failure within minutes, all while they remain entirely conscious. There is no known antivenom for this pint-sized assassin. A single adult carries enough venom to kill 26 humans. Stonefish. The deadliest fish in the ocean is essentially just a highly venomous rock. The stonefish, native to the shallow coastal waters of the Indo-Pacific, has evolved the ultimate disguise to survive and ambush its prey. It crusts its bumpy, mottled skin with algae and sediment to blend seamlessly into coral reefs and sandy ocean floors. This masterful camouflage makes the creature nearly invisible to unsuspecting small fish and careless beachgoers alike. When threatened or stepped on, it refuses to flee. Instead, it deploys a terrifying defense mechanism consisting of 13 razor-sharp dorsal spines that act like hypodermic needles. Each spine connects directly to a pair of venom glands capable of delivering a potent neurotoxin deep into the skin. This chemical weapon triggers excruciating, paralyzing pain, rapid tissue necrosis, and severe heart failure. The downward weight of a human foot is all it takes to activate the injection, making a casual wade in the surf a high-stakes gamble. Without immediate medical antivenom, a single misstep onto this living stone can kill an adult in under an hour. Pufferfish. One single pufferfish contains enough concentrated tetrodotoxin to kill 30 adult humans. These slow-moving swimmers inhabit warm, tropical, and subtropical oceans worldwide, having evolved their famous inflation mechanism millions of years ago to compensate for a severe lack of speed. Whenever a predator approaches, the fish rapidly gulps down massive amounts of water to expand its highly elastic stomach, instantly transforming from a vulnerable target into a rigid, unswallowable sphere. Yet the real defense is entirely chemical. The liver, ovaries, and intestines of the pufferfish are heavily saturated with a lethal neurotoxin that induces rapid respiratory paralysis. Despite this extreme biological hazard, the creature is highly prized as an elite culinary delicacy, most notably in Japan, where it is served as fugu. Master chefs must endure years of rigorous training and strict licensing just to meticulously slice away the toxic organs and safely plate the translucent meat. To this day, there is no known pharmacological antidote for its devastating poison. Cone snail. Unlike the sluggish, harmless garden snails that peacefully graze on your backyard leaves, the cone snail operates as a ruthless aquatic assassin. These predatory marine gastropods hunt within the warm, tropical waters of the Indo-Pacific reefs, relying on an incredibly sophisticated biological weapon to secure their next meal. When a fish swims too close, the animal extends a flexible tube called a proboscis and fires a highly modified hollow tooth that acts exactly like a miniature harpoon. This strike happens in mere milliseconds, injecting a paralyzing cocktail of hundreds of unique conotoxins directly into the victim's bloodstream. For humans unfortunate enough to step on or pick up the beautifully patterned shell of larger species, like the geography cone, this venom can cause respiratory failure with no known antivenom available. Despite their lethal reputation, these toxic chemical compounds are now being synthesized by scientists to create revolutionary, non-addictive painkillers. A single sting from this deceptive mollusk contains enough venom to kill up to 15 human adults. Lionfish. A diver's spear misses its mark, grazing a striped flank, and instantly 18 needle-like spines flare out in a dazzling, deadly display. While they naturally inhabit the warm reefs of the Indo-Pacific, the lionfish has transformed from an exotic aquarium pet into one of the Atlantic Ocean's most destructive, invasive predators. Sometime in the 1980s, a few of these maroon and white striped hunters were released off the coast of Florida, sparking an ecological disaster. They are voracious eaters, capable of expanding their stomachs to 30 times their normal volume to swallow prey whole. But what makes them truly untouchable to native predators is their formidable armor. A lionfish defends itself using a fan of long, elegant dorsal and pectoral fin rays, each housing potent neuromuscular venom that causes excruciating pain, sweating, and temporary paralysis in anything unlucky enough to brush against them. With no natural threats in their new territory, these venomous beauties dominate the reef. A single female can release up to 2 million eggs annually. Crown of thorns starfish. An evolutionary mandate to forge an untouchable reef predator created the crown of thorns starfish, equipping a seemingly simple echinoderm with a biological fortress of venom. This massive invertebrate originated millions of years ago in the warm, shallow waters of the Indo-Pacific with a devastating ecological directive: to consume living hard corals. To ensure it can feast without interruption, the creature is armored with up to 21 arms covered in hundreds of stiff, needle-like spines that can easily pierce a wetsuit. These toxic barbs deliver a potent venom that triggers excruciating, radiating pain, persistent bleeding, and severe tissue swelling in any diver unlucky enough to touch them. The crown of thorns starfish feeds by extruding its entire stomach out of its mouth, blanketing the coral polyps and liquefying them with digestive enzymes right on the reef. During massive population outbreaks, swarms of these venomous stars sweep across the ocean floor like a plague, leaving behind only dead, white skeletons. A single adult can consume up to 60 square feet of living coral every year. Portuguese man-o'-war. The Portuguese man-o'-war ranks as the single most misunderstood toxic drifter in the world's oceans. While it looks and acts like a standard jellyfish, this bizarre entity is actually a siphonophore, a floating colony of genetically identical, highly specialized individual polyps working together as one unified creature. It floats through tropical and subtropical waters worldwide, earning its nautical name from an iridescent, gas-filled bladder that breaches the surface like the sail of an 18th-century warship. Beneath this striking purple and blue float, a treacherous weapon lies in wait. The Portuguese man-o'-war trails a tangled mass of venomous tentacles that can reach staggering lengths of up to 100 feet below the waves. These microscopic nematocysts operate like spring-loaded harpoons, injecting a potent neurotoxin that causes agonizing, whip-like welts on human skin and instantly paralyzes small fish. Because it possesses no independent means of propulsion, this ocean wanderer relies entirely on prevailing winds to hunt. A single sting delivers enough raw agony to hospitalize a grown adult. Banded sea crate. The banded sea crate is a highly venomous marine snake that inhabits the warm coastal waters and coral reefs of the Indo-Pacific. Evolving from terrestrial ancestors, this amphibious reptile leads a dual life, seamlessly transitioning between land and sea. While it hunts among the complex crevices of coral reefs for its favorite prey of moray eels, it lacks gills and must periodically swim to the surface to breathe air. The banded sea crate possesses a potent neurotoxic venom, which is significantly more lethal than that of most land snakes, designed to instantly paralyze fast-moving fish. Despite this extreme toxicity, these creatures are remarkably docile and rarely bite humans unless severely provoked. They are easily recognizable by their smooth, paddle-like tails and the striking black and white bands that run the entire length of their slender bodies. Because they remain tied to their terrestrial roots, they must return to dry land to digest meals, shed their skin, and lay eggs. A single drop of their venom contains enough power to kill 10 adult humans. Flower urchin. In 1935, Japanese marine biologist Tsutomu Fujiwara accidentally touched a deceptively beautiful creature and experienced immediate, paralyzing agony. He had just encountered the infamous flower urchin, an Indo-Pacific marine menace that completely hides its lethal nature behind a stunning botanical disguise. Unlike typical echinoderms that rely primarily on long, sharp spines for their defense, this unique species is blanketed in hundreds of mesmerizing pink and white appendages that look exactly like blooming flowers. However, these structures, scientifically known as pedicellariae, are actually muscular, three-pronged jaws equipped with venomous fangs. The very moment an unsuspecting diver brushes against these delicate petals, the microscopic jaws snap shut, injecting a potent neurotoxin directly into the bloodstream. This highly toxic chemical payload rapidly triggers severe muscle spasms, respiratory distress, and temporary paralysis, cementing its reputation as the most dangerous sea urchin on the planet. Frequently camouflaging itself beneath coral rubble and empty shells in shallow coastal waters, it seamlessly turns innocent tide pools into invisible underwater minefields. A single careless touch can easily paralyze a fully grown human.